right, so we are going to jump in. We're going to be talking Instagram content strategies today. For those of you who were with us yesterday, we talked about optimizing the profile, getting everything going from the foundational components of kind of your Instagram strategy, how it works to get your profile optimized, how to get your captions going, how to get some of your content strategy going. But today we're going to deep dive into the actual content strategies. But before we do that, I did put out a challenge yesterday, and I was related to the profile bio. So did anybody want to volunteer to share their profile bio with us? You can share your Instagram handle. We can go look at it and do some quick objective critique and see how it looks. If anybody wants to do that, feel free to raise your hand, come off camera. If not, it's totally okay. We can skip doing it, but I want to give the opportunity. All right, Alton said he did it. Absolutely. All right, so Alton, I'm going to stop the screen share here for a minute so that we can do that. And Alton, to your point, I could get a second monitor, but I have this ginormous curved monitor. It's this big, massive thing. So having another one would just make life too complicated. But go ahead and come off mute, Alton, and let us know what your Instagram handle is, and then we will dive into today's topic for everybody.
It's What's Brew, all one word.
All right, I'm gonna pull up. Sorry, it was What's
Brew. Yeah.
What's Brew? BREW.
You got it.
All right, there we go. That's you. Okay, so we've got for the profile, anybody who wants to pull that up, we have it's at, so we're in the Instagram app, search for What's WHATS BREW. And so we've got your name, which is great. I would like to see you throw in a keyword in the name field. So where you have first name, last name, junior, put like an emoji or something, a little house emoji, and put something in there like either realtor, real estate, OC, something in there that's another level of keyword that would help you get found, especially because your username is not instinctively related to the fact that you do anything related to real estate. So I'd like something real estate related in the name field. So then you have the little emoji, perfect, with name, associate broker. Then you have husband and father, realtor, brewer, part-time philosopher. I love it. I think it's great. Oh, perfect. Look at that, Elsie pulling it up for me. Imagine how that works. But yeah, so this is overall, this is really good. And then you've got your license number on there. And just quick recap from what we talked about yesterday, why I like this. One, you've got who you are, literally your name, that you're an associate broker. And that's also kind of what you do, the broker component. And then you've got a little bit more of that personal component we talked about, so either that you're a husband and father, that you are a brewer. That's like a fun fact that's really kind of fun to throw in there. I like that. Part-time philosopher, that's great. And then the only thing we're really kind of missing is any sort of really like what's in it for them. So why would someone choose to follow you? Why would they care about you on Instagram? What's going to make it worth their time? So there's something you could add from that kind of component of a bit more of a what's in it for them, whether it's you help first-time home buyers, you help people who are downsizing, you help those who, have and they're looking for investment real estate, whatever it is. If there's something you can put in there that just kind of helps clarify who that ideal person is that you're serving. And then we're going to take a quick click on the whatsbrew.com/Instagram links, because it looks like you followed yesterday's instructions.
I just need this about 30 minutes ago. So
no, but it's good. And so if we click on that link, that is taking us to your landing page where we have your contact information, looks like podcast for Beer with Alton, and your newsletter. So that's perfect. This is getting rid of using an external tool like Linktree and having it built right into your website. So now technically you can retarget me because now I'm on your website. So that's great. Do you have any questions about what the process was like or anything on what I just kind of gave you the feedback on?
I don't have any questions, but I have a comment, which was I find myself to be fairly technically capable compared to most people. And even I found some of this a little bit tricky. So,
okay. And when you say tricky, are you like just the process of building it out, or like just Like,
Well, this piece in particular, the links thing, I mean, and even still, it's not exactly as polished as I'd wanted. I just did this about 30 minutes ago.
yeah.
And then I don't know, some of the things you're asking me to add, like what's in it for them. I'm not sure how to make it all fit. There's a limit on space in some of the profile stuff. So I'm not sure what's most important, what fat needs to be cut.
So you have 150 characters for the profile bio. Elsie, if you want to stop screen sharing, that's totally cool. So you've got 150 characters for the profile description. And it's one of the things, I'm guessing, are you an iPhone user?
I am.
Okay. And you're probably wondering how I know that, because iPhone users don't inherently get the return option built into Instagram. Why? I don't know. So it actually helps if you build your profile description outside of Instagram and then actually go in, put the returns in. You want to make sure that there's no space at the end of the line. You want to make sure you have backspace to the last character on that line. Then you can hit the return, and that allows you to get more of that breakout of the kind of the bullet point format. But yeah, you have 150 characters, so it's not a lot of space to work with. And it might mean you have to like truncate something. So instead of saying Orange County, you say OC, things like that are going to give you the opportunity to put a little bit more content in there. One of the things, and this is hard, to be completely honest, the fact that you did all this and put this all together in like 24 hours, I'm going to give you like, gold star of the day. This is something a lot of people spend months working on a profile bio. It's something where I actually even tell people, go in and work with your team. Sit down with, your spouse, your friends, your colleagues, your customers, and say, if you could say anything that describes my business in one sentence, what would it be? Pick 3 words that describe my brand, and start gathering those kind of pieces of information from other people, and then see how you can work that into the profile bio, because inherently we are horrible at writing about ourselves. There are very few people who are very good at actually writing about their own business, their own brand, or themselves, because we want to say all the things, right? 150 characters, we're like, but I need like 150 pages. So trying to condense it down, sometimes it helps to get some external input in there. And this is why this is a really good project to kind of work on as a team. But for you taking that effort and putting all that in, you did a really good job. That's a really good start on the bio. So good job, Alton. All right. And a couple other people did pop in and said that they want to look at it. So if you guys want to stick around, at the end, if we have time after questions, we'll take a look at those additional ones as well. And then, so as we jump in here, I'm going to go ahead and get my screens back up. As we jump in, just a couple things as a reminder about the housekeeping side of things. You will get the link to this slide deck. So I believe you're going to pop that in the chat for all of you. So you'll have access to the slides to reference now and or after the fact. And if you have any questions as we go today, make sure to drop those questions in the chat, and then I can come back and grab those as we finish up today for Q&A, and we can go ahead and answer any of those questions. And as a reminder, we have another session tomorrow. So if you're not signed up for that session, make sure you do. We're going to be talking even more about lead generation, how to actually get people onto your website from Instagram, as well as looking at the metrics, how to actually read your insights and know what's working. Because sometimes, you think you're like, oh, I got a lot of likes, but what does that mean? So we're going to go through all of that tomorrow. But today we're talking Instagram content strategies. So let's dive in. This is the big lesson. If you get anything from me over these total of 3 days, I want it to be this. Please, 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 please stop selling houses all the time. I know it's literally your job to sell houses. You probably have it in your contract with your clients that you have to promote their house on your social media a certain number of times. I get it. And we do want you to promote houses, but I want you to keep in mind that not everybody is ready to buy today. And if all you're doing is putting out content about your houses, what ends up happening is, not interested. And that starts to have a negative impact algorithmically. If I stop interacting with your content, I stop seeing as much of your content. And that means when I am ready to buy, you're buried in my feed and I'm not likely to come to you. So instead of focusing on just the properties and the listings, we want to instead start making it interactive. We want it to be social media. I know we're talking Instagram, but it's social. So we want to do things that are related to interactions with people. And that means, showcasing a bit of yourself. We talked about this yesterday, showing that behind the scenes, life as a realtor, your personal life. Provide those resources and information. We talked about this yesterday as well. Showcase your lifestyle, your family, your activities. What are you doing for the holidays? It's summer vacation. What are you doing with the kids? Are they in camp? Are they at home with you? Are you doing pool days? How are you entertaining the kids? That's relevant and timely, but is also relatable to your audience that keeps you top of mind. Show off the community and the neighborhoods that you work in. If you're exclusively working in certain areas within Orange County, you know that the activities going on there, the lifestyle going on there, the weather there. I mean, we all know the weather is different 5 miles inland from the coast, right? So if you're out in RSM and it's 110 degrees, but it's 80 at the coast, you're talking to two totally different audiences. So we want to keep that in mind and focus on the areas that you serve, not just California, Southern California, Orange County, but really focus on what makes your neighborhoods and your environment unique. Also ask questions and ask for recommendations. Say, hey, we're taking off on a trip to Hawaii. Any recommendations for great restaurants? People love to help. People love to chip in with their advice. And if you're always coming at them and giving them advice, it's their chance to reciprocate when you ask those questions, and it can really drive up your engagement. And we will talk more about why that's important. And then, of course, share your successes in the real estate space. Obviously, the sold properties, upcoming listings, any testimonials about working with you. Of course, we want to include those, but of all the things, that's only a component when we actually look at the actual real estate side of things. We want to make sure that your social content is appealing to that audience, because remember, when people log on to Instagram, they're not looking to buy a house, right? If they're looking, they're going to MLS listings, they're going to Zillow, Redfin, that sort of thing. When they come onto social media, they want to be social, they want to be interactive, they want to be entertained, they want that kind of, bonus content for them. So we want to make sure that we're giving them that content. Create that constant stream of value. When you're creating this content on Instagram, think about what is of value. We talked yesterday about a variety of things, including that shareable content. I shared the story about the pumpkins and that pumpkin post, right? That's a value add. So make yourself that local go-to resource. Is there new construction popping up? Are there weekend activities going on? Those are things people want to know about. I have a realtor in my inbox. It's not an Instagram story, but it's a similar relation. And when I was looking to rent the condo that I currently live in, I toured a bunch of places and of course got on a couple email lists. And there's only one realtor who I stayed on her list. And the reason why is because the first of every month, she sends an email that has all of the activities happening in San Diego. For family events, adult events, all that sort of thing. So whether it's a beer tasting going on or there's the fair going on, she's got this list of all these activities. And so that is a value add. I want to keep her in my inbox purely so I can get that email every month. If you're doing the same thing with your Instagram content, people want to keep you in their feed because you're giving them that value that they want to hold on to. Uplift and support other local businesses. We talked a bit about this yesterday as well. If you know plumbers and landscapers and home decorators and all these types of, people that you work with in and out of your daily operations in the real estate space, shout out to them. Give them that opportunity to work with your customers, but it gives your customers that sense of trust that, hey, that's right. They know these people. Okay, cool. They're going to be somebody I'm going to reach out to because they need a plumber this weekend or whatever it is. It's a really good way to build that trust factor with your audience. And then providing that real estate news and information. Of course, there's always, the monthly trends, what are we looking at in terms of changes in interest rates and all these sorts of things that are going on that people need to know, especially in that buy and sell stage. You can be providing that type of information that's also that value add. Because your sales window, is actually very narrow, right? The time period in which someone's actually buying or selling their home is a relatively small period of time, even though it might feel like a year. Sometimes it is a year, but in their entire lifespan, in their entire time on social media, it's a very short window, but you can actually work to foster those relationships every day so that you can convert those into long-term relationships. All right, so let's talk about the Instagram feed. This is the home feed. This is when you tap on that home icon and you scroll in that kind of vertical format. So this is called the feed. This is traditional Instagram. We're going to talk about stories and reels coming up. The feed algorithm, people hear the word algorithm, they freak out. They think they're being, they're being buried and Instagram is hiding things, and they're really not. So the way the Instagram algorithm works is it's a one-to-one relationship. It's not a popularity contest like it is on Facebook. On Facebook, the more people that interact with your post, the more people Facebook shows it to. Instagram, on the other hand, is a one-to-one relationship. The more you interact with my content, the more you see my content. The less you interact with my content, the lower my content ranks, regardless of how anyone else is interacting with my content. Now, that being said, an interaction could be as simple as swiping through a carousel, tapping ... more to read the comment or the whole caption. It could be scrolling back to look at your content. All of those are positive rankings algorithmically, but yet we have no metrics on those behaviors. So we're going to talk more tomorrow about how to measure that performance. But every time you do something positive with my content, it tells Instagram that my content is worthy of your time and it keeps my content higher in your feed. So the key is to create the content that keeps the engagement of any sort, any of that positive action up with your audience. Also worth pointing out that Instagram does not actually hide any content. Every piece of content is there if you scroll far enough back. They're not hiding content like Facebook does. So as well, another factor that is important to think about when you're on Instagram is Instagram is like, hey, we care about you if you care about us. So if you're posting and ghosting, meaning you show up, you post content and you leave, Instagram is not going to reward you with lots of reach. So you want to make sure that you are active on Instagram on a regular basis, or somebody on your team that has access to your Instagram account is active daily. This can be 5 minutes of scrolling through the feed, watching a couple stories, checking some DMs, whatever it is. But your activity, your presence on the platform can impact your reach. So if you feel like you're not getting any results on Instagram, take a look at your own behavior on the platform and if that could possibly have any impact on your overall performance. So when it comes to content on Instagram, I'm going to give you permission to stop posting so much. Hopefully that's a bit of a relief for some of you. You do not need to have a post every single day. Some of my real estate professional clients do really well with a post every single day. They post 7 days a week and it works really well for them. I have other clients who post 3 times a week and that's their optimum number. More than 7 times a week is probably too much. Ideally, most businesses, 3 to 5 posts a week in the feed is an ideal range, but even once a week is completely okay. The key is that we want consistency and we want high quality content because we don't want your content competing with itself. This is why we don't want too many. If you're posting, let's say 2 times a day, all of those posts are competing for traction along with everything else that person hasn't seen since they last logged in. And if your average user is a casual user that only logs in once a week, they now have to go in and the algorithm has to sort all that content from the last week, including all 14 of your posts if you post twice a day. But if you've only posted twice in the last week, there's only 2 pieces of content that have to get mixed in. And as long as they're high quality content, they're likely to get that interaction. If you're posting 14 times a week, chances are it's not all high quality content. And when you post that mediocre content, I start ignoring it. I start scrolling past it. And that becomes negative ranking algorithmically. So I would rather you not check the box I posted on Instagram. Instead, I would rather you make that high quality content that stands out in the feed. We're going to look at some visual examples of what that looks like, and always make sure you're posting with a purpose. Every single post on Instagram should somehow augment your overall strategy. Even if that's a fluffy dog post, just a puppy post, that's okay. That's part of your strategy to keep engagement up. And if engagement is up, then they're more likely to see your other posts. So that's okay. That's all part of the strategy. But we're never posting just for the sake of posting. We want everything to come in with some sort of intention overall and high quality content. So here's some general photo tips. Now, again, you guys are getting copies of the slides, but if you want to grab photos or make notes on any of these slides, please do so, because I know I'm talking a lot more than what is on the slides. So these are some of my favorite examples. These are not really real estate related, but I pulled them for specific reasons. So this image on the left from the Love Bomb Co., which is one of my favorite accounts. I love this image because it's a product shot. Now this could be something, even if you're looking at something in like a home shot or something, this could be an aspect of the home where you're like tied up really close to a feature, or it could be that you're doing something, you know, in your own personal life that you want to showcase an image of. It could be something related to things that you guys are doing in your office, like kind of behind the scenes. But when you look at this photo, there is a clear focal point. Even though it's a busy background, the background is so blurred out that you aren't distracted by the background. We want a very clear focal point that draws people's eyes to the object of focus. If that background wasn't blurred out, it would not be a clear focus. It would be hard for your eye to train in, and you're more likely to keep swiping because you can't focus on the object of intention. Also, human component. 20% more engagement when you add a human component. And then again, that don't have to be a face. It doesn't have to be you full selfie mode. Just adding the component of a human can increase engagement by 20%. So the hand shot over the shoulder, it could be the back of you, it could be, you know, your feet sitting in a chair. As long as there's that human component, it helps increase that engagement. Now this image in the middle, from SoFab Food. I love this one because it's got the pop of color. You have the very white muted background. You have the white kind of sand washed table. You've got the white ramekins, the white and gray towel, but then you've got this beautiful pop of fuchsia color that really makes you stop. That's a stop the scroll pop of color. So that's an appealing image that's going to get people's attention as well. Also, that one's really well aligned within the rule of thirds. So that front-facing ramekin is in the lower third and aligned with the right third, whereas that rear ramekin is in the middle alignment. So it's actually very aesthetically pleasing, even though it's not centered. So play with your angles and your configurations of your images, and don't always put everything smack dab in the center. The image here from Cottage Grove, this is an apartment complex. And this is one of their highest performing posts. They don't get a ton of engagement, but that's okay. They have good production from what they create on Instagram. But this is one of their top liked posts. And there's a couple of reasons. One, animals. When you can put cute puppies or even cute babies, engagement goes up. It's just the truth. People like to see animals. I always joke that the San Diego Zoo has the easiest content strategy in the world because they just got to post cute animals and boom, engagement is good. But so if you have a dog, a cat, if you've got a bunny, if you're, bring your pet to work day, if you can add animals, not to every single post, but it's a good way to do a bit of that engagement bait and drive up that engagement. Also, the color blue has been shown to increase engagement by 15 to 20%. So here he's got a blue bandana. There's the blue pool table. There's the blue filter. The filter on there is a blue tinted filter. That has been shown to increase engagement. Doesn't mean that you have to use the color blue, but it's worth experimenting with. And that could be the blue sky, a blue shirt, a blue prop. It doesn't have to be the whole color of the entire image is blue, but those are things that you can do to help boost some of that engagement as well. And also this photo is a raw photo. It's very raw and real. It's not overly staged or filtered or post-edited in Photoshop. It's shot on a smartphone and uploaded pretty much directly to Instagram. But that's relatable, right? We don't always have to have those perfectly flawless pieces of content. Raw works as well. Now this image over here from Amtrak on the right, I love this because it's an emotional connection in the sense that I can feel that image. Like you almost get vertigo. There's like leaning into the photo. You can feel the emotion. You can feel the movement of the train. And that is a powerful message. When you can get someone to feel something by looking at a photo, that is a powerful way to connect with your audience. So that's a unique perspective. Also, it's very Instagrammy. We talked about that Instagrammy technical term yesterday, that long linear line to that distant focal point, the color complements of the trees on either side of the tracks. It's a very visually appealing, even though it's a very blurry image, it's actually very visually appealing from an Instagram perspective. Okay, so some other things to keep in mind when you are creating your content on Instagram. We are all well aware that we have those PDFs that are sent out that are probably attached to the emails, and it's the invitation to an open house, it's the flyer about an upcoming listing, and it's a really text-heavy, super boring, not visually attractive image. Not saying they don't work. They work in the right environment. They don't work on Instagram. So do not go and take those images or that PDF and just try to upload it as a JPEG onto Instagram. Please don't do that. This is an example. This is actually a boomerang video, but this is just a screenshot of it. And this realtor actually took the physical invitation for the open house, went to the property, and he made a boomerang where he flips the invitation back and forth. So you're actually reading the invitation, the physical invitation, in his hand at the property in a video, and then he put all the relevant text information in the caption for the what, where, when, that sort of thing. So it's same information, but it's Instagrammy. It's more relatable. It's more fun. And it's not just a ton of text, because text does not perform well when done in an Instagram image. We talked about this yesterday, so I'm not going to hone in too much more on this. But again, making it Instagrammy, focusing on the various features of the house, play with colors, play with angles, pick one or two property or aspects of the property to focus on. I want to go tour this house. I literally cannot see that. I have no idea what the inside of this house looks like, but I want to go tour it because that photo makes you want to go there. So pick those one or two components of the house that make it unique and focus on those for your Instagram content. All right, now let's talk about videos, because video is a huge component of Instagram going forward. They've made a huge push into video, as you've likely heard, and we will talk about all of this. So go live. Going live on Instagram is a very powerful way to connect with your audience. It's when you go live, you actually get priority placement in the top feed from the stories. You will get notifications if you're following, or ask for notifications when people go live. So it's a really good way to get out there in front of your audience. So think about doing, in this case, they were doing a virtual tour of an open house. And you can give unique and personalized tours. You can walk through, you can do the narration. You can see she's not on camera. You don't have to be the face of the camera. It's okay. But she's narrating behind the scenes, walking you through the property. This is great for, early access to an upcoming open house, coming through the COVID stages where, you couldn't have people on property. And if you still have people that may be hesitant to come to an open house and be around other people, doing a virtual open house can be a great way to still reach them. So like I said, providing that early access and those sorts of things are a great way to use live video to get people excited about those listings that you have coming up. You can also do episodic content, whether that's monthly Q&A sessions, virtual training. We talked yesterday about, maybe you work with new first-time home buyers and they don't know what they don't know. So do a series the first Monday of every month. You do a live episode and you answer some frequently asked questions. You bring on a guest, those sorts of things, almost podcast style, as a means of providing that additional value to your audience. And these are really valuable because you actually get a list of viewers. You can see everyone who has viewed your video. And so those people who stayed on, those people who interacted, who left comments, those could be your warm leads. And now you have them on Instagram. Open that DM, connect with them. Don't immediately go into sales mode, but start to connect with them because they watched your content. They're showing up. They're showing an interest. Bring your expertise. So again, talking that episodic content, that regular tech content, Morgan does this really well. She does regular updates, but address those market news and trends as things are shifting up, shifting down, what to expect. Answer those commonly asked questions for your target audience. And again, creating that regular recurring content is a really good way, not just even live video, but recorded video. You can record this right here on your desk, record the video, upload it to Instagram. Now we want to keep the content a little bit shorter for this. So short little hot clips, live video can be up to 4 hours, but we want to keep videos uploaded to Instagram under 10 minutes. So we want to think about that and how can we create that really good short form content that still hits those levels of expertise from your industry. All right, Instagram Reels. This is the hot topic these days. Everyone is pushing Instagram Reels. Should you not? What does it look like? Well, here's some things we want you to consider when you're creating Instagram Reels, which yes, you should be creating. But we want to make sure that you are not overdoing Reels. They can definitely help. They can get you more exposure, but they are not the end all be all. Actually, only about 25%. As of a recent study from Instagram, only 25% of users are actively using Reels. That means 75% of Instagram users are not. They're on stories, they're in the feed. So as much as Instagram is pushing Reels, they still haven't really catapulted to the forefront of Instagram content. So they're worth using, but we're not going all in on Reels. We want it to be part of our strategy. So some things to keep in mind. Keep the caption super short. Okay, so you can see here, you're leaving a lot of money on the table if, and he has like a couple more words in that sentence, and that's it. Because that's all people see. Most people are not going to tap on that caption, have all the text, fill the screen, and try to read it with the moving background. Most people will not read the caption on a reel. So instead, one really good sentence, one really good powerful statement, that's all you need for your caption. You are going to use the same hashtag strategy as the feed post. We're coming up on hashtags in just a moment. No, you do not have to dance, because trust me, nobody wants to see this dance. You don't have to dance. You don't have to be on camera if you don't want to. You can create educational content, things again about the news, updates, trends, listings, things coming on the market, those tips on DIY, the tips on decor, all those kinds of things. You can turn those into reels. You want to make sure that you get right to the point in the first frame. When people are scrolling through a reel, they are literally scrolling. And if you don't have their attention in that first split second, they will keep scrolling. So this is not something where you come in and you're like, hi, I'm Jen Herman with Jen's Trends. And in this video, bye, Felicia, they're gone. Okay, they are not going to stick around. So you want to really come in hot and heavy in that first frame, right into the topic and dive right into the content. And then we can put the caption, the title, that sort of thing, put that as a text overlay as both the cover photo and even in the beginning of the reel, so that again, someone looks at this video and they're like, even if he's like slightly delayed 2 or 3 seconds getting the topic, because he has on here three things you must do before you sell, you're like, cool, I'm going to watch this video, because you know it relates to what you're looking for or not, but it helps with retention when you have that title in a text box across the early part of the video. Now, to optimize your reels, there are things you can do to help them get even higher performance. One is to add music, even if it's just in the background. You can actually have yourself talking, you can add music, and then you can go in and you can toggle them up and down. So you can actually toggle down completely the background and have just the music, or you can have the background super subtle and have the music loud, or vice versa. Background is up here and music is kind of silent in the background. But adding music tells Instagram that it's a unique piece of content you've added to it within the app. And similarly, filming within the Reels app as much as possible, or editing as much as possible within the Reels app. That means adding stickers, adding filters, adding text or captions. The more you do in-app, the more you're telling Instagram that that is a unique piece of content that is not being used anywhere else. If you take a video that you've created in an external tool and you upload it and directly post, Instagram assumes that video is probably on TikTok, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook. It's in all the places, meaning it's not unique. So you're not as likely to get as much reach and distribution. Unique content, unique to the platform, is more likely to get more distribution. So you want to do as much editing as possible within the app. Create those custom cover images. When you go and upload your reel, it's going to just grab the first frame. You can pick any frame in the video, but most of those, if the text doesn't come through when you pick the cover image, it's just the back video component. And again, someone going through a search of Explore, if there's no cover photo that has any text to tell them what that video is, they don't know what it's about. It doesn't mean nothing to them. Even if it's a house, they're like, okay, it's a house. I don't know what the house is about. But if you have text on that cover image, so build the cover image externally, go into your whole reel process. And when you get to the upload stage, go to the cover photo, upload that cover photo, which has the custom text on it now that says what that topic is about. Again, it's going to help with views, and it's going to help get you more high quality views on those reels. You also want to pick the right time length. And I can't go into too much because we got to get through the rest of the slides. But this is something I've covered in depth in my membership program, which I mentioned yesterday, called Profit Your Profile. We've done multiple trainings on reels, but for the most part, short reels, 7 to 10 seconds, are super, super top of funnel. They're just to get exposure, just to get people watching your content. They're not for conversions. They're not for high quality education. Then you can now do reels up to 90 seconds. Those longer ones, those 30 to 90-second reels, are for your existing audience. That's to give them those tips, the advice, the news updates, those sorts of things. The longer content is to serve your existing audience. The short form content is to reach new people. So keep that in mind. All right, we're going to talk Instagram hashtags. And I'm going to run through this pretty quick because, again, we're kind of tight on time and I want to make sure we cover a lot of stuff. But you can always go to jenstrends.com, Jenns trends.com, and search Instagram hashtags, or go to my YouTube channel and search Instagram hashtags, where I have all of this in way more detail to help you figure out the right hashtag strategy. And again, you're going to get copies of these slides. But when you're doing hashtags on Instagram, you're going to want to use a minimum of 10 hashtags per post. You can use up to 30. 20 and above is the ideal range. 10 is like your bare minimum. Like that's what you need to get started. 20 is where you start getting results. And then, anywhere above 20 is kind of sugar on top sort of thing. You want to use your own custom branded hashtag. I use hashtag JensTrends and hashtag Learn from Jen. So you want to figure out what your hashtag is for your brand. It could just be your name. It could be your agency name, your brokerage, any of that sort of stuff, but you want a branded hashtag. You can use trendy or themed. Those are things like, related to seasonal content, related to things happening in the news, things like Halloween, that would be trendy or theme. Content related, what's actually happening in the photo itself, and then industry related. You are not going to use hashtag real estate. We're going to come back to that, but that's just way too popular and it's global. We want to make sure we're picking the right hashtags. This is a quick example from a winery in British Columbia, Canada. They posted it on BC Day. So they have hashtag beautiful BC, which would be industry related. That's the hashtag. It's the tagline for tourism in British Columbia. Hashtag BC Day would be the trendier theme because that's the provincial holiday. Burrowing Owl Wine is their branded hashtag. Wines of Instagram and wine tasting would be, again, industry related. And then they have hashtag hummingbird because there's literally a hummingbird in the photo. So that would be how they hit all 4 categories. Trendy or themed is the only one that's hit and miss. You aren't always going to have that, but the other 3 categories you should hit every time. So this is the super secret recipe that I tell everybody. This is proven for success over and over and over again. Every time I do a presentation, somebody inevitably emails me and goes, "Oh my gosh, it worked." And I'm like, "I know, you're welcome." So we want to pick a variety of hashtags, and we're going to use this consistently. We're not going to go back and edit any old posts. We're just going to use this going forward on our content. So we're going to pick 4 to 5 popular hashtags. Those are those of about 500,000 up to 1 million. If you go into Instagram and search a hashtag, it tells you how many posts are associated with it. 363,282. That would be if it's 363, that'd be in the more moderately popular. But so 500,000 upwards of 1 million are your popular. Anything over 1 million, you start attracting spam bots, trolls, people that are, not actually interested in your content, and it's not going to help you gain any traction. You're going to get buried too quickly anyways. So hashtag real estate, no go. But you could do hashtag Orange County real estate, OC real estate. Those sort of things absolutely work. The moderately popular are going to be those 50,000 up to a 500,000 mark. And these are arbitrary. They're just kind of general guidelines. You want 3 to 5 niche specific. This is super hyper targeted. This is where you're going to get into those geographically located ones. Not even OC real estate. Now you're into like Newport Beach real estate. Those sort of like really hyper targeted. And then your 1 to 3 branded hashtags. The reason this works is because your content goes out, your followers start liking it, the hashtags get non-followers on your content. So now with all that variety, popular get you an initial burst of activity, moderately popular keep you active hours into days, Niche specific, you end up ranking as a top post. When you're a top post, you're the first one people see when they go into a search result, and then they come over to your content. They're reading your caption, they're going to your profile, they're following you, sending you a DM, clicking on your profile link, all those sorts of things. And this is how you drive conversions with Instagram hashtags. This is an example from Danny. She's a longtime fan of mine. You can see she was #1 for hashtag paper flowers, which was 1 million posts. It's a popular hashtag. She was #1 with only 97 likes. You don't need tens of thousands of likes for this strategy to work. You need to be consistent and have good, high quality content. So which hashtags are you going to use as a real estate professional? Think about what your audience is looking for. We want to go where they are, not what we think we want to be found for. So think about the things that they're doing when they log on Instagram. Because like I said, they're probably not going on there looking for homes for sale, right? They're going on there killing time in the line at the grocery store while the kids are at swim practice or whatever it is. So think about things related to those local and geographic hashtags. Pick out those Orange County neighborhoods. Pick out those geographical areas. Look at local activities and events. When the OC Fair is happening, you can piggyback off of things related to that. If there's home and garden shows happening, those are good ones to use as well. Use things related to home design, decor, remodeling. People are looking for inspiration. They're looking for the dream kitchen, the chef's kitchen, those sorts of things. Use those as inspirational things. Use those hashtags when you have that really great property with that really amazing primary closet. Yes. Photograph that, slap that up with some hashtags. People are going to find that and then be like, oh, that's actually a home for sale. Oh, I like that. Oh, this realtor has a ton of information on how to do home decor. I'm going to follow them. So it all translates down the line. Look at the home repair and the landscaping simultaneously. Like I said, various rooms, the kitchens, the bathrooms, the closet. Now, again, we talk a lot more about this in my various training programs because we got to keep on moving. We're going to talk Instagram stories. I know I'm throwing a lot at you guys, but we're going to talk Instagram stories really quick. So Instagram stories are those bubbles across the top, and the algorithm is going to give you the content that you are most likely to watch. If you've never watched a story, it's chronological. But if you've ever watched a story, they're looking at the likelihood that you are going to actually interact with that story. So in this case, the digital gal, I mentioned her yesterday. She's the ads expert. She's also my best friend and the only person on the planet who I will watch every single one of her Instagram stories. So she's always guaranteed first place. The moment she has a new story, she kicks to the front of the line because Instagram knows I'm going to watch her content. As I mentioned, Instagram Lives get priority placement. Once you've watched those new stories, they go down to the end and whoever you haven't watched moves up to the top. But the moment those priority ones post new content, they're going to kick back up to the front. So there's things we want to do to encourage our content to rank higher. There's passive story engagement and active story engagement. Passive is when you watch the stories go through. Active is when you tap back to look at it again, when you tap on a sticker, when you interact in some sort of positive way, throwing up a like, a quick reply. All of those are active engagement that help our content rank higher and higher in priority in that list of stories. So how do we achieve that? You want to use stickers. Stickers are the best way to drive that active engagement. Things like the polls, quizzes, and question stickers, so good for the real estate space. Ask a simple question. It can be a poll where they pick one of two answers. It could be a quiz where they get to choose from a series of answers and then find out if they're right or wrong. You can ask a question, be like, hey, tell me your favorite restaurant in Orange County. And they all jump in with their responses. And all of those responses go into a list of notifications and you can reply to them via a direct message. Another really fun add yours sticker. This creates like a daisy chain. So in real estate space, you could say, here is my summer backyard. I've got the grill going, the palm trees are blowing. Show me your backyard. And you use the add yours sticker. So now if I see your story, I click on that, I share a photo of my backyard, and it's now attached to your story. But now I've posted it, so now if my friends see it, they're going to post their backyard and it's going to attach to mine, which is attached to yours. So it creates this daisy chain of all of this content around a common theme. It could be show me your pet, show me your backyard, show me your kitchen, show me your breakfast. There's so many things you can do, but you can still tie it into that real estate environment. We also have the countdown sticker. This is really good for open houses. Put the countdown sticker on for 11 a.m. on Saturday. And that way on 11 a.m., someone's remembered or they signed up for it. They get that notification. Oh yeah, that open house. Let's head over and check it out. It's a good way to promote the upcoming, showings, but also get people to physically get a reminder about that upcoming showing. The slider sticker is totally random, but it's great for engagement. And then the link sticker. So did I have the link sticker? I did not have the link sticker in here. My bad. Okay, so the link sticker is one of my favorite things in the whole wide world with Instagram stories. And this is relatively new. It used to be the swipe up, and it used to be only for business accounts with over 10,000 followers. But now it's for all professional accounts, and it's a sticker. It's not a swipe up, it's a sticker. But you can actually go in and customize it. It's available for all business accounts. We're going to talk about that more tomorrow in that link generating, traffic generating section in the training tomorrow. So stay tuned for that, because it is hands down one of the top things you should be focusing on with your Instagram strategy in 2022. So we'll talk more about that tomorrow. Here's some of the examples of the different stickers in use. So in this case, the one on the left, it's just hashtag kitchen goals, but I like this one because she has it to the music of Stevie Wonder's Isn't She Lovely? And it's kind of like one of these like kind of jokingly like mom situations, right? Like your kitchen is spotless, it's clean, and it's going to last for about 13 seconds until the kids come rushing in. So it's the kind of that Isn't She Lovely song playing over, and it's just kind of fun and it's relatable. This one in the middle was one of the question stickers. So she said, how long is this piece of granite? We won't argue about whether it's granite quartz or some other kind of content or type of material, but there's no prize. Nobody wins anything, but it's a fun way to drive up that engagement. People want to, they're competitive. They want to participate. And the example on the right, you can see where they had asked a question. And they have this repeating episodic content. It's real estate FAQs. And so the question was, is there a home warranty with all new construction? And then they have their answer. So they're creating this information resource by taking your questions and answering them in their Instagram stories. So these are all ways that you can put this to use. So overall, when it comes to your Instagram content strategy, regular feed posts are best to serve your audience and keep up engagement. That's the people who follow you, they're going to see that content. We want to get that engagement up, keep that engagement in whatever capacity, active or passive, but the more they engage, the more they're going to see more of your content. We want to use Instagram Reels for exposure and placement. Again, those really short ones to get people to find you. New eyeballs on your content, new opportunity to grow your audience. Reels are really good for that. We want to use hashtags for search and discoverability. We talked yesterday about optimizing for search. Hashtags are that key to success across the board for hashtag searches as well as keyword search. So make sure you're using those strategically. And then your stories are going to keep you top of mind with a variety of content. You've got photos, you've got text, you've got videos, you can add music, you can add stickers. It's this whole interactive component. And again, gets you interacting directly with your audience in a more one-to-one relationship kind of way to build those relationships. So thank you all again for hanging out with me today. I'm loving seeing all of you here. We do have some questions that popped in. So as a quick reminder, this is the same slide we had yesterday. Feel free to join that free Facebook group. Head over to Facebook and look for Jen's Trends in Social Media, and you'll find that free Facebook group. Request to join, and I'll let you in. And again, like I said, we talked a lot about a lot of things today, but we cover all of this and more in my membership program, Profit Your Profile. I'm actually doing a training in literally an hour and 10 minutes. We're talking branding on Instagram in today's live training in the membership. So if you're interested in that, you can definitely check that out at Profit Your Profile. So where do we sign up for tomorrow? Alton, I'm assuming Elsie has responded to that one. And so Diana said, should you put the address on the video reels of properties or leave it just a video? That is a great question. for the most part, if you want to include the address, it can help. Again, especially if you're doing it as a preview, if you're doing it as like showcasing of a listing, it can definitely help to have the address in there. What I would do is if you're putting it in the caption, because again, most people aren't going to watch the caption, I would make sure you put a call to action in the reel, whether you're saying it or you put it in a text box that says address in the caption, because most people aren't going to see it unless you tell them to go get it. Or you can even put it up as a text on the video. The problem with that is then people have to like try to like freeze the screen to like get the address. It doesn't work as well. And so they have to grab a screenshot or something and then physically type it in. Whereas if you put it in a caption, it's a little bit easier for them to grab that address. So definitely you can do it. Just make sure you're letting them know that it's there so they can grab it. Okay, so Sadika said, how do you get to stickers? So when you're in Instagram stories, it's the same thing on Reels. It is at the very top, there's a bunch of options. There is a kind of a square looking icon with a happy face. That is the stickers icon. So if you tap on that, it opens up that tray that I had showed the screenshot of that has all the different types of stickers. There's also options in there to do the AA is where you can add text. There's a little, I think you have to do the 3-dot button to get to the pencil so you can just draw willy-nilly on the screen. But stickers are the little happy face looking icon. So Tim said, do you know if it's okay to do Reels on other agent listings, or is that a no-no? Good question. Depending on your involvement, if you just happen to be walking into somebody else's open house and you want to do a reel about it, I mean, you could. If you're doing it in the sense that you want to showcase that to your audience because you think that it might be something that you can work as the buying agent with them, and it's the seller is the agent that they've got the listing, you could absolutely do it. It's still going to help because it's getting it in front of your audience. I can't imagine another real estate professional being like, nope, don't showcase my content, don't give me more exposure on my property. So it's not that it's necessarily a no-no. I just wouldn't want to overdo it. I wouldn't want to be creating too much content for other people's value. Instead, I would want to be focusing on either the listings you have or using Reels in other ways to showcase, what the neighborhoods are like, what the communities are like, rather than so much showcasing other people's properties that are available. Okay, so then Diana said, thanks for the answer. Also, I'm on my phone. Can these links be sent to us by email? Elsie and Cassie, I'll let you take care of that one. Tim said, do you know if it's okay? Okay, so that was the question. We just answered that one. Miranda said, lovely class, have the jet. Thank you, Jen. I'd love to hear your thoughts on our page. So if you still want to do a review, please do. Well, we still have a handful of minutes, you guys, and no other questions have popped in. So Miranda, did you pop yours in at the beginning? I feel like you did. Yes. Encinitas team on Instagram. Let's do it. Let's go over. So we're going to go over to Instagram and we are going to search Encinitas, ENCIN, Encinitas. And is it Encinas or Encinitas? I'm in San Diego, so Encinitas makes sense to me. I'm going to type it up the way you have it in here. Encinas team. There it is. So it wasn't Encinitas. Sorry. This is why I'm the worst person in the world when reading usernames, because I think I make up the word. Like I'm like, oh yeah, that's totally what that said. No, it wasn't. So it's Encina's team. Okay, so we have your username is great, Miranda. We've got that it's the Encina's team. Then you have Veronica Encinas as your name. So just like I said to Alton, and Veronica, if you want to come on camera, if you are available, if you want to come on, we can see it more or see you. But you have Veronica Encinas, and again, I would want to put like the house emoji, do something, and put a keyword in there. We want something that says that you, again, are somehow related to being a realtor, real estate, Orange County, some sort of good, viable keyword in there. Then you have the Veronica Encinas team -- Caldwell Banker Realty. You have Veronica and Rosario with your license number. So here's the thing. This is a little stale. and I don't like to pull a lot of punches. It's good, but it's not great. I don't connect with you on a personal level reading this. There isn't that personalization. Like, I don't know, are you a mom? Are you an OC native? Like, are you born and raised in Orange County? What are your hobbies? What are you known for? Is there something like, people always know when you show up, you have you always have the shoes, or is there something about you that stands out that people recognize? Can we add some of that personalization to this to make it a little bit more of a human component and a little bit less of the, hey, we're a real estate office and here's our real estate licenses. So add in a little bit of that. And then I think that would help. And then we've got your link in bio is currently going to, it looks like a listing page. It's a 3D for a listing. So the challenge when you are changing this link out regularly in that way is that if someone is coming to your page, your Instagram account today, they see that link. But if you've got in there, a post that says, hey, go click the link in the bio, and I come to your link or your account and I go find a post from 2 weeks ago and it says link in bio, but that link is now this one, they don't correlate. So I'm not finding the content that you had said, go click the link in bio. And that's why the page that Alton we looked at, where he's got that custom page, and we covered that in yesterday's training, that really helps define. So you can still have one simple link, but then you could have the link to this listing on that landing page so people can get to it easily. Okay, so Tim said, do you offer content creation services or have recommendations for other companies? Great question. And we got this question yesterday as well. So I do not do anything in terms of actual execution, but I do work with a variety of clients, including a lot of real estate companies, on strategy. So I can work as a consultant, answer your questions, help give you some tips, and walk you through your strategy, figure out what your strategy is, what kind of content you should be creating, what hashtags you should be using. I can help you do all that so that you are maximized to be able to do it yourself or within your own team. But I don't do any of the actual execution. If that's something you're interested in, feel free to shoot me an email at jen@jenstrends.com, JENN@jenstrends.com. And I can give you my list of referrals. I have a number of ladies that I work with. They're not going to be local to Southern California, but that could be the people that would help with that execution. And again, the membership program, Profit Your Profile, we actually have a number of real estate professionals in there as well. And we do all these live trainings, so you stay on top of all the news, the updates, and these types of trainings every single month, so that you always have that top, whatever's current in the world of Instagram news and features, changes, and that sort of stuff. You have all that training to keep moving yourself forward if you want to do it yourself. Okay, so that is the last of the questions, and we were pretty much at the top of the hour. So I will sign off and say thank you so much for hanging out with all of you again today. It was wonderful, and we will see you all tomorrow. Like I said, we're going to talk all about lead generation, getting people onto your website, and then how to actually measure performance. So taking all the things that we learned today and packaging it all up so you can actually measure that success. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.